Hello viewers and welcome back to the EKS here at Daytona Milton Keynes for round 7 of the 2024 season. It's been a very interesting round so far, and that interest continues into Split 2 at Race 3, where Samuel Bennett looks to put his good pace throughout the day to good use. Try and get himself converted into a race win off of pole position, with Charlie Jackson joining him on row 1. Ethan VInce-Odozi and Raj Kulart make up row 2 of the grid. I said in the last race that Ethan has got a lot of pace, and this is his best opportunity yet. Miles Harding and John Dove make up row 3, with Andy Laister and Chrissy Harding both very high up the order in row 4. Carl Jackson and Henry Walter make up row 5. Hugh Moreton is in 11th position. He'll be hoping he can make up a few positions throughout this race, as will Yachi Low, who's been improving throughout the course of the day. He starts in 12th. Samuel Bennett is on pole position for the final Split 2 race of the day, and we get ready to get this underway. Eyes to the board once again, and it turns to green. We'll be racing, and it's lights out and away. We're going. A good start for Samuel Bennett, trying to get clear into turn 1. Does just about, but clatters the wall on driver's right. Still holds on to the lead of the race, but it was very, very tricky for him. Let's ride on board with Henry Walter, who's watching Carl Jackson just try and get ahead of Andy Laister. Can't do so. He loses a position to Chrissy Harding. Now does Henry Walter, as Carl Jackson now goes down the inside line of Andy Laister. They're so close together, and Andy just about holds on to that position. Miles Harding now in a bit of a battle with Raj Kulart, as Henry Walter goes down the inside line of Carl Jackson and gets through, but Miles Harding battling, as I was going to say, with Raj Kulart. Now on the inside line goes John Dove, battling Raj Kulart and Ethan VInce-Odozi. Miles on the outside line will bravely defend that position, so can turn his attention forward a little bit in that battle for third position. It's Samuel Bennett ahead of Charlie Jackson, Ethan VInce-Odozi, Raj Kulart now, and Miles Harding has a bit of contact between the two of them down into the cliff drop chicane.
Yeah, it was Charlie Jackson who actually got a really good launch there going off the line. He was starting in second place on the right hand side, got a really good run going through turn 1, briefly led the race, but then clattered the wall, as you saw, going on the exit of turn number 1. He's now dropped back down to second place. As a result, it's Miles Harding is side by side with Raj Kulart. He's going to go around the outside there. He is indeed. What a move that was by Miles Harding, going around the outside of Raj Kulart through the bus chicane. Not normally an overtaking spot, but Andy Laister's now on the inside of Miles Harding, going through turn number 9. Andy Laister is through, so he's just come out of nowhere there, and Andy Laister's now up into P4 as Miles Harding goes to the inside line. He's straight back through up the inside. So good battle this is here for P4 between Miles Harding, Andy Laister and Raj Kulart. So it looks like it is Miles Harding as we come to the end of lap 1 who is up into P4 now for the time being. It's now Carl Jackson's up the inside of Henry Walter going through the final corner of the circuit. I think Henry briefly lost 9th place there, but he's now back through as he goes into the tyre wall coming out of turn number 1. Just lost the back end there. Now that has let Hugh Moreton and Yachi Low through, as Henry Walter gets straight back through on Yachi Low, but a bit unlucky there for Henry Walter. He's now looking at the inside of Hugh Moreton, so I think he's got through on Hugh as well, straight recovering back through the field, made 2 places straight back up there. But yeah, bit of a caretook opening lap there.
Yeah, and Henry will be frustrated with that because it's set back his progress at least a lap or so. We're now watching on the drone the battle a little bit further behind, as I believe that's Raj Kulart all of a sudden under pressure from the 111 of Andy Laister. And now we can see that battle at the front of the field. You've got Samuel Bennett, Charlie Jackson, Ethan VInce-Odozi, the top 3 at the moment. Miles Harding desperately chasing after Ethan, and if he can keep it on the road this time, which unfortunately to say, Miles is finding it a bit tricky in the wet so far today, but if he can keep it on the road, he should be in pretty good position to try and chase after that third position and maybe get a little bit of a podium finish here inside of split number 2. 9 minutes to go in the race then, and Raj Kulart still getting very defensive now ahead of Andy Laister, but Andy, I'm sure, will seize any opportunity that he is given that closer behind.
Yeah, Andy running in P6 at the moment, so he's just coming across the line now, half a second behind Raj Kulart. They've got John Dove just behind them. John and Andy, the other 2 anonymous drivers, on the time attack on the left hand side. John did actually spin on lap 1, going through turn number 7, so you can see this replay now from the drone. Just lost the back end going into turn number 7, and he got onto the big curb on the inside, but he's recovering now, back up to 7th position, and he's right behind Andy and Raj.
8 minutes to go, and Miles Harding has made a bit of a mistake on this lap that's taking him out of contention with Ethan VInce-Odozi very briefly. This would be the best finish for Ethan VInce-Odozi inside of the EKS, showing a little bit of what he still has to give. He's from primarily a team sport driver, well, indoor driver anyway, no matter what what track you're at. Plenty of indoor karting providers available, of course, but in theory, he's just going to be getting faster and faster here in the EKS, and I think this is the first showing of that today, Luke.
Yeah, he had some good results back at PFI, one in particular where he was up at the sharp end, so this is not his first time up in the upper echelons or Split 2, but yeah, he's starting to make it a more regular occurrence. Did well in the previous race too, started third on the grid for this race after being really quick in the previous race. He's a regular at Team Sport Crawley normally, along with about half the field of this race. We've got quite a large contingent of drivers from Team Sport Crawley, so it's Miles Harding, who we are on board with now. They are all regulars down there. And yeah, doing a good job here as Ethan VInce-Odozi. I think he just clattered the ball actually coming out of turn 1. That has allowed Miles Harding to catch back up there, as now they're both going deep, going into turn number 2, going through the chicane at the start of the lap. This has allowed Miles Harding to catch back up. This will definitely be Miles Harding's best ever result if he holds on to this position here. He had a couple of strong races back at PFI, but not too much beyond that so far this season. It's mainly been towards the back end of Split 2, so this is a good performance by him. No spins yet either. We've seen in the previous 2 Split 2 videos that he's had a lot of spins today, but he hasn't spun yet, and he's doing a really good job here, running up in P4 for the time being.
And yeah, I have to say as well, Miles, echo your thoughts. Miles doing a pretty good job here, but both drivers just need to make sure they don't overdrive at all in this one. You're in for a good result. It can be very easy to overdrive the car. Just keep it smooth, keep it consistent, and they should be in to finish well where they are at the moment. Ethan then, with so much pressure on his shoulders, with 6 minutes to go in the race, he's done half the job, now needs to consolidate here. Down into turn 9 they go, both of them pretty equal. That gap not necessarily coming down, the gap not necessarily lengthening out at all either, so that will be encouraging for, in a sense, for both drivers. Through turn 11 they go. Let's see if Miles can get the exit. He's just going a little bit too shallow into the corners, and it's affecting his exit speed with halfway still to go in this race, and I think that will be music to the ears of Ethan VInce-Odozi. Let's keep an eye on Henry Walter as well as, oh, Miles has gone round, and I think Ethan's gone round as well. Both of them almost throw away the podium, but they've done it together. It's another spin for Miles Harding. It's a scary moment for Ethan VInce-Odozi, who saw his best EKS finish flash before his eyes there very briefly, but actually it's worked out quite nicely for him, because now Miles Harding is very much in the rearview mirrors. Yeah,
Ethan VInce-Odozi, he spun it on the brakes there going into turn number 2, and I think Miles just kind of got all excited and panicked, and he joined him in the process, locked up too. So they both went off into the wall then at turn number 2. So unlucky for them both. Luckily, it hasn't cost them any positions. The pack behind though have managed to catch up. We've got Andy Leister right behind Raj Kula at the timing. Sadly, neither of them have onboard cameras, so we've got no onboards of the battle, but those two are currently in 5th place and have caught up to Miles and Ethan. As a result, as you just briefly mentioned earlier, Henry Walter has caught up to Carl Jackson, having gone into the wall at the end of lap 1 going through turn 1, and he's now caught him back up. These two running in 9th and 10th place at the moment. Both these heavyweight drivers coming in at over 95 kilos in this race. You can see a yellow flag actually just there. I don't think the spin is any to be seen. I think the spin is already driven off. But yeah, these two in 9th and 10th for the time being. But meanwhile, out in the lead of the race, we've got Samuel Bennett. We've just seen him actually going through turn number 4 from the static camera. He's pulled an 8.5 second lead over Charlie Jackson. So he's got a mighty big lead here, Samuel Bennett. This will be his first ever win in the EKS if he manages to hold on to this during this race. Ethan VInce-Odozi, meanwhile, is in P3, just in front of Miles Harding, like we've been talking about throughout this race. Will be a great result for both of them if they can hold on to these positions. We've got Raj Kula currently running in P5, like I was saying earlier, holding off Andy Leister.
There goes Henry Walter down the inside line. Excuse me, look, Henry Walter's managed to get himself past Carl Jackson. It was very optimistic, but very, very strong on the brakes on the inside line. A bit of a dive bomb, in fact, so you can get away with that in the wet. And boy, has Henry Walter got away with it. He's now up into 9th.
Yeah, sorry, good spot from you there. I was looking at the timing tower at that point in time. So yeah, that is Henry now up in to 9th position. We've got John Dove in 8th, Henry now in 9th, and then rounding out the top 10 is now Carl Jackson.
Yeah, absolutely, and Henry will be happy with that one. Ethan VInce-Odozi still having to defend, but I say defend, he's not really had to defend. When I say defend, I mean in terms of just pump those lap times in with 3 minutes still to go. In these conditions, that will translate to just about 2 laps at the line. I would imagine they'll be taking, I would suspect, the last lap board next time by, unless Samuel Bennett squeezes one more in because he's been so quick in this race. 10.8 seconds now at the lead ahead of Charlie Jackson. Ethan and Miles falling off the back of that by 14 seconds. In fact, I think we probably will squeeze 2 more in when they get to the line. We'll wait and see just how that is going to work out. As Miles spins into turn 2, he's done it again, struggling so much with these brakes, and I think now it's going to be a bit of a frustrated Miles Harding as Raj Kular catches up about half of the gap between the two of them as she defends from Andy Laister, but Miles Harding making a habit of spinning now, and it's been a day to forget.
Yeah, he's getting good results here today because he has got good pace, Miles Harding. He just doesn't have the consistency to go through it, as Andy Laister's now side by side with Raj Kular as they head down to turn number 6. Raj holding on for the time being. These two have been glued together throughout this race, haven't they? Fortunately, like I say, no onboards of it, but these two are having a good fun. But a battle for 5th place. Miles Harding, he's still in 4th. How he's in 4th still after these spins, I'm not sure, but he is holding on for the time being. I don't think Raj can quite keep up with him when she catches up after his regular spins. But yeah, so good race here between them all. Samuel Bennett on his penultimate lap, coming home at the moment for what will almost certainly be the victory, as long as he doesn't stick it in the wall like a few of these drivers have done so far this race, ahead of Charlie Jackson with Ethan VInce-Odozi in 3rd, ahead of Miles, and Raj Kular in 5th, ahead of Andy Laister in 6th.
Yeah, well, I said a day to forget for Miles Harding. He obviously, you said he's still got the results, so maybe a day to remember, a day full of spins, but also full of championship points as well, if that somehow works. We've got yellow flags into turn 1 as we follow Miles through as he almost careers into the barrier. Not sure what this is for. Potentially a barrier repair. It is for a barrier repair. You can see the marshals just putting that barrier back into the correct place after Miles Harding dislodged it slightly just a lap ago. But everyone's nice and slow through that part of the track. It neutralises the race ever so slightly. Then they'll see the strobes get cleared, and that unleashes them to battle once again, with Miles Harding all of a sudden having to defend from Raj Kular, who has really caught up all of a sudden. 1 minute to go in this race. Sam Bennett's about to cross the line to start his final lap of the race, and well, now all of a sudden Ethan VInce-Odozi is starting to smile a little bit.
Yeah, that was a bit suspicious how much Raj caught up there under those yellows. She was 3.5 seconds behind Miles, only just over 3 seconds behind Miles coming into that lap, and she's now right behind him. So I hope you didn't spin on the yellows, Raj. It may just be a case of Miles Harding slowing down a little bit excessively for the yellows, but it has brought this pack right together here as they head through the bus chicane on this final lap of the race, or I think the penultimate lap of the race now. We're on, yeah, it is indeed. It has brought them right up, as now Andy Laister, he's side by side with Raj Kular going down the railway straight into turn number 9. He's got to back out of it, though. I was going to say he's going to go for the move, but he isn't, so he just pulls out of that one there as they head through turn number 9, and Raj Kular holds on to P5 for the time being.
Last lap of the race, I'm almost sure of it now. You'll see the last lap out on that right hand side digital board as Miles makes his way through turn 1, and Ethan VInce-Odozi is just about 1.3 kilometres away from his first top 3 finish in the EKS, and Miles Harding going deep into turn number 2 is going to help Ethan in that cause. Sam Bennett almost certainly going to win this race. We'll try and call him across the line if it's all possible, but as it stands at the moment, it's been a very comfortable job. Charlie Jackson similarly has had a very comfortable job at the front of the field, but Ethan VInce-Odozi's the story of the day really, and Miles Harding is about 2 seconds or so behind him. In terms of stories of the day, the other one has got to be this man. Sam Bennett makes his way into turn 9. He's going to take victory here in the final race of the day, as here we go, it's checkered flag out, and it is Samuel Bennett who takes victory ahead of Charlie Jackson. Ethan VInce-Odozi now wanting to hold on for 3rd. They've still got best part of half a lap to go, but Miles Harding is way too far behind. I think Ethan VInce-Odozi is going to do it. He'll probably back himself. Just 2 corners to go now in order to take this 3rd spot. And it's been an absolutely wonderful drive. One small hiccup a little bit earlier on, but it won't be one that he cares too much about now as he makes his way around the final corner. Ethan VInce-Odozi will stand, at least figuratively, on an EKS podium.
Samuel Bennett ended up taking a dominant victory then in that race, 8.7 seconds ahead of Charlie Jackson to take his first ever victory in the EKS. Charlie did really well there to finish in P2 in karts and round a track which he is unfamiliar with Ethan VInce-Odozi coming home in a very impressive P3. We just saw how happy he was with that as he came across the start finish line. Miles Harding had a best ever result in that race then of P4, with Raj Kula coming home in a close P5 ahead of Andy Laister. Chrissy Harding, meanwhile, knows very happy to come home in P7 in that race ahead of John Dove, with Henry Walter a close P9 and Carl Jackson coming home in P10. And then we've got Yachi Low and Hugh Morrison round out the field. You can see them just coming across the start-finish line in the back of shot. We can head now down to the pit lane, where our reigning heavyweight champion Matthew Boulton is joined by Samuel Bennett, Ethan VInce-Odozi and Chrissy Harding.
So we're here with dominant winner Sam Bennett. I mean, with over 10 seconds to yourself and second place, I don't have much to say. How was it?
It was incredible. I really loved it here. It's such a good track, and I just took it as a normal race, really. I knew it was starting from the front, so I just had to try and build a gap, and it just kept extending. So
It certainly did extend. We were certainly impressed in the commentary box. And would you say you're more at one with the conditions in the dry?
Yeah. This dry track definitely helped a little bit. Some corners still slightly damp, but I feel like the corners that were dry definitely helped. So
yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic performance. So well done. You got your win.
Yeah.
And no promotion to Split 1 because it's the last race. But
yeah.
Well done, and I hope you enjoyed your calm and friendly Saturday evening cruise. Well done.
Thank you very much.
So I do try and limit to one interview per driver, but I don't think I can really stop him this time. Ethan VInce-Odozi going from disqualification in Heat 1 to a podium in Heat 3. How was it?
Mate, I'm in disbelief. I'm actually ecstatic. I don't know if you guys could see or hear me, but I was screaming around the track on that last lap.
We saw
man.
you gesticulating for the entire lap, the entire cool-down lap.
I was mate. Honestly, this last lap here, I was checking my back and I saw I had Andy Laister behind me, and I was like, I've got to like properly lock in. And I think I needed to stop looking back and just focus. But man, I'm so happy with the result. I feel like I've definitely earned it today. I've put in a lot of effort and a lot of mind struggles, but for sure, I'm so happy to be here.
A lot of effort, a lot of mind struggles. Let's not forget a lot of good driving as well.
Yeah.
So congratulations, and we'll see you on the podium as well.
Yeah.
Well
Thank
done,
you.
mate. Well, we're joined by Chrissy Harding.
Hello.
How was your last race?
Our last race was absolutely amazing. So I'm going from the 24-hour race from being in the wet and coming after 5 laps because of 4 strokes are overtaking me. A little bit embarrassing. To how much I improved today, it's absolutely insane. I'm really proud of myself. And no penalties.
No penalties.
Yeah.
That's always a plus. You don't want penalties.
Nuh-uh.
We don't get any information on penalties, but well done.
Clean slate, mate. No penalties in this round.
Well, the entire round.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, this one.
That's good.
3 races,
Full
0
points.
penalties. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Well done.
yeah.
So I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah.
And
Did you
big
enjoy
improvement. I've had a hoot. That's been great.
What was your favourite part so far been?
Split 1, race 2, but I'm sure Split 1 will have more to deliver.
This one will be crazy to watch because like there's so much drive lines now except the corner over there is the only one that's wet. So like these boys, and girls, take it to a full advantage, there could be a lot of changes now. I think that's shown in our race as well.
I'm certainly looking forward to it.
Same here,
but
mate.
thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
And
Cheers,
well done.
mate. Take care, bye.